how to create colourful gradients in Affinity Designer that you can reuse in the future. Let's just remove that object there and go to the rectangle tool. Select that and then add a rectangle. Just drag and fill most of the document. Make sure you've got no stroke setting. You can click here and you can see set it to none. Also the fill. Now click here and you'll see you've probably got a different gradient than I have here. You can also of course set it to a solid colour as well. All that matters is that you've got this rectangle. So gradient tool, and you can manipulate this gradient. You can also go to swatches and select a gradient here, and you can then move it around and resize it, etc. Go to the move tool, and with this selected, go to edit and copy, and then edit and paste inside. That's the key thing. Edit and paste inside. And you can see now it's pasted inside here. With that selected, and you can go to the layers and select that, and that's in the window menu, so layers, and then go down here and duplicate. And you can see now you've got two copies. You've got two there of that rectangle. Well, with one selected, just go to the gradient tool, and then you can manipulate it. Now at the moment, there's no difference. You can see you've got there, but you can't see the one that's below it. Go to normal, this blending mode here, along this line, and go to difference. And as soon as you've done that, you can now see, if you modify that, you get a variety of different designs very quickly. And you can also go up here to the type and maybe go for radial instead and move that around. But you can also repeat this. So right click again and then go to duplicate, and then you can move that. You can reposition that. So you can create thousands of different colourful designs. Of course, again, you can go back to linear. You can blend linear, radial, etc. all together. You can also go over here, maybe select a different gradient. So just select one of those and you can see how the colours applied then. Exactly the same as before. Right click and duplicate. And again, repeat that. You can position it there. Again, you could go with radial, etc. Elliptical, conical, and maybe even bitmap if you want to do that. And you can repeat this multiple times. So again, right click and duplicate, and there. And you can create millions of colourful designs. Okay, so you've got this point, you've got this rectangle. Select the top rectangle. And with that selected, all you need to do is, I'm just going to remove the swatches now, I don't want that anymore. You can go to Assets, and you can find that in the window menu. So Assets, and you can set up a section, a category, gradients. It's got this one, and you can go to the assets there, right click, and currently you've got this rectangle selected. So add from selection, it will be adding this entire design. You can go down there, you can see this design. Now that means you can use this in the future. So if I just go over here, and I can just remove it. So it's gone. Maybe 6 weeks later, you come along, 6 weeks later, you think, oh, I had that great gradient design. I could really, really love to use that with a star or some other shape. Well, you can. So just go over here, select this star or any of the other shapes, or maybe text, and you've got this design here. Well, at the moment, of course, you've got this colourful gradient. It's not the same as the one you created earlier. All you need to do is just drag this over here, and you see you've got this design. Well, you can then put it into this object. Well, how can you do that very quickly? All you need to do is go over here. So go all the way along the top, and you've got this option. Or you can use, again, the paste inside. That's another option. Just go to Insert Inside. So set that on, click there. And once you've done that, then drag this into this design and release. And now you can see straight away all that colourful rectangle, all those designs that were included in that rectangle have now been added into this. And you can do that for anything. So it doesn't have to be a star, it could be any other shape. So you just create another shape, maybe like a circle. Exactly the same as before, just go over here, make sure you click Insert Inside, click that, and again, just drag. And you can see straight away you can add it like that. But what you can also do, let's just remove that circle now. You've got this design, you can still, of course, modify it. You don't have to keep it the same. You can go to this rectangle, you can select any of these designs in here, and you can make a unique design. So you might think, oh, don't want it exactly the same, but I want the basic colour of that. So again, you can go over here and you can select that gradient tool, and you can change this, or maybe go and select in the swatches a different gradient. Or maybe go, oh, you know what, I don't want linear, I want radial instead. And you can reposition it, move it around, change the stops. You can always just tweak the stops and you can see the result of that. And you can move that around. But what you can also do is you can go over here and you can select, say, the star. And now, if you've got photo, Affinity Photo that is, you can always add additional effects. So you might like think, oh, that looks great, but what I want is a twirl design with that. So File, and you can go down to Edit in Photo, if you've got photo, of course. If you haven't got photo, it's not going to be much use. So Edit in Photo, and now in Photo you can see exactly the same design. Now, unfortunately, Window Assets, you'll notice that you probably, and it doesn't work, the gradients, you can see here, you've got the gradients here, they will not include the gradients from Designer. They don't sort of shared, they're not shared assets. Would be really nice if there was a feature for that. Don't know why there isn't. Shared sort of assets would be a great addition. But of course, you can always add it to this. Simply go to the layers, of course, and you've got your shape there, rectangle, you've got it selected. And I wonder, actually saying that, can you just do that? Don't know, let's just try it. Always the best way. Select with assets there, go to right side, add from selection. Yeah, does. Adds it straight away. That rectangle that's inside that star, it doesn't have the star, but now you've got that rectangle and you can now drag it into obviously a shape within Affinity Photo as well. But what also you can do is you can go up here to the rectangle, make certain it's the rectangle that's selected, and then go to Layer and down to New Live Filter Layer, and you can go for Distort. Now, not all, and sadly, most of my favourite Distort filters are not available as yet. Maybe they will one day, I don't know. But Twirl, you can go for Twirl. Twirl's a really good one. And you've got this panel. It's live, so you can always edit it later. And you can manipulate the radius. And also you can change origin point, so you can move it around. So you get a lovely spiral design very quickly using this approach. And you can add more than one, of course, and all those sort of things. And you can close it. And you can see now you've got this star. Select that. And you can then, with the move tool selected, you can reposition it. Oh, again, select the twirl. Don't want to select that. Want to select the star itself. You can move that around. You can also hold down the Alt Option key and you can duplicate that design. And you can see now you've got multiple shapes with those twirls. At any point, you can always expand it, then go here, double click, bring up the twirl, and then manipulate the twirl on one of the objects. Not all of them. They're all disconnected, so they're not going to be modified here or here. And then close that. Once you've done that, you can go to File and Edit in Designer. So Edit in Designer, back into Designer, and you can see now exactly the same design as before. You can see all your stars, you've still got the twirl effect, and you can now also manipulate the twirl in here as well. So if you want to, just double click there, bring up Live Twirl, and you can modify that setting. Just change the radius, change the origin point, and close it again. And there you have it, a lovely style. Now, of course, what you can also do, if you want, you can save this as well to the assets. So all of this can be added to assets. So let's just go over here, rectangle, everything there, the rectangle. With that selected, just go over here, add from selection. So add from selection, and you can see now you've got that. So again, a couple of months later, come along, you got your circle, and you think, wow, I remember I had a great design over here. Again, go up here, with that selected, go to the insert, go here, and then just drag, and you've got again. Now the rectangle is the reason I went for, because of course you can resize it. So again, go to the move tool, and you can just resize it, because obviously you might create a shape that's bigger than the original design. It's not infinite. So you can always resize it and then move it around. And there's also an option for locking the children, so you can manipulate the positions of all the various designs by just locking that as well. Very useful. So that's a very quick way of storing gradient designs made up of multiple gradients and for future use. Hope you found this tutorial of interest. Any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Please subscribe. Also a like or dislike, always great. Thank you much.